Okay, let's talk about the Signal chat thing, the war plans, the hearing from today. I know it's uncomfortable, but let's have an uncomfortable conversation because it's important in the wake of failures, even if they're mistakes, to have uncomfortable conversations. It just is. We don't enjoy that, but when a football team loses the game, next practice, they're going to watch film. If you were missing blocks, dropping passes, the whole team's going to watch. We're going to talk about it. It's going to hurt. It's how you learn. In the military, something goes wrong. Maybe even someone gets killed out on a mission. We're going to talk about it. Who screwed up when? What went wrong? It's important. It's how we advance. It's how we get better. So Signal. If you're older, you may not be aware of what Signal is. I'm only vaguely aware of it. It's a social media app. It is supposedly one of the more secure social media apps. It is apparently authorized for government use, so it's installed on government computers. And there was a Signal group text messaging, let's make it that about that, with a bunch of big shots on it. Pete Hegseth, J.D. Vance, the works. A bunch of big shots on it. Mike Walls, that's going to matter. And in this Signal chat, they were discussing war plans with Yemen. Should we do this? Should we not do that? I want to do this. I don't want to do that. Somebody, I think we can guess that it was somebody in Mike Walls' camp or Mike Walls himself, added Jeffrey Goldberg to the chat. Jeffrey Goldberg is a vehemently anti-Trump editor of The Atlantic, which is a complete communist rag. It's not any small thing to add a disgusting human being like Goldberg onto there. So let's talk about it, because we'll get to the hearing and things that happened today, and you'll see evidence of what I'm about to talk about. There are things that aren't a big deal, but certainly could have been a big deal, and so you've got to make them a big deal. For instance, let's say I have little tiny kids. I don't anymore. My boys are gigantic and they're meatheads. But let's say I had little kids again. They're 2 and 4 years old. We go out, Ab and I go out for a date. We call a babysitter. Babysitter comes over. We get back from dinner. It's dark outside. And not only are none of the outside lights on, the babysitter has carelessly left the front door of the house unlocked and open, ajar. Anybody, the dog could push it open. The 2-year-old could have pushed it open. And we get home, kids are just sitting there in the living room playing. Babysitter's out back on the phone talking to her boyfriend. Now, the kids are safe and sound, but she can't ever be the babysitter again. Yes, nothing happened this time. But disaster could have happened. And showing that level of carelessness with something so important like the lives of my children has got to come with consequences. Those consequences being, you don't ever get to babysit my kids ever again. Look, I know we instinctively, understandably, we want to lock shields every single time someone on our side does something wrong, because we are in a political war against the other side. And I understand it completely. Lord knows I've probably done it myself, defended the indefensible. I get that. But we have less than 4 years now. If you're talking about the midterms, we have less than 2 years, but we'll make it about Trump's presidency. We have less than 4 years. Less than 4 years to cure this country of the terminal cancer that the communists have given us. Communists throughout the government, world leaders against us. We have every single thing humanly possible stacked up against us. We simply cannot possibly afford, we can't afford the level of carelessness that comes, if it was carelessness, we can't afford the level of carelessness that comes with adding a filthy communist to a group chat with the vice president and the secretary of defense. I'm sorry. And I know Donald Trump came out today and said, Mike Walls is a good man. He made a mistake. And I get that, and that's certainly Donald Trump's right, because he's president of the United States of America. I want you to know I completely disagree. Mike Walls, if he is the responsible party, and I think we could probably guess that by now, who's been on this show, and I have nothing personal against Mike Walls, should be fired and fired immediately. It should serve as a lesson to everybody in this administration that accidents, mistakes, they're not good enough. It won't work. We only have 4 years. We have to move at breakneck speed and purpose, getting things done. Boo-boos like that can sink us. For instance, today, we had a huge hearing today. We had an opportunity today to put all kinds of great things on tape for the American people. Show them, hey, this is the Trump administration. This is what we're doing. We're doing this and that and this with the intelligence and national security. Instead, we got an entire day of this.
So that we're clear, one of the first things that happened when I was confirmed as CIA director was Signal was loaded onto my computer at the CIA, as it is for most CIA officers. One of the things that I was briefed on very early, Senator, was by the CIA records management folks about the use of Signal as a permissible work use. It is. That is a practice that preceded the current administration to the Biden administration.
Director Ratcliffe.
All day. Answering questions. Why are you on Signal? Should you be using Signal? Well, I mean, the last administration used Signal all day. Not getting our message out there all day. On the defense all day. Having to answer questions all day. This stuff.
And the discussion included the Vice President's private opinion on the wisdom of proposed U.S. strikes in Yemen, correct?
I don't recall.
Vance, quote, I think we are making a mistake. I am not sure the President is aware of how inconsistent this is with his message on Europe right now. There was a strong argument for delaying this a month. You don't recall?
I don't, as you
You don't recall seeing that?
read that, I don't.
It included the private opinions of the Secretary of Defense on the timing of strikes in Yemen, correct?
I don't recall.
Director Ratcliffe, surely you prepared for this hearing today. You were part of a group of principals, senior echelons of the U.S. government, in now a widely publicized breach of sensitive information. You don't recall whether the Vice President opined on the wisdom of the strikes? That's your testimony today under oath?
In that setting, I don't recall.
Looks bad. You know it does. Don't bother. And is this the end of the world? Of course not. The story will be gone 24 hours from now. Looks bad. I don't recall. Looks evasive. Looks bad. It should have been an entire day of us being able to make fun of weapons-grade boobs like Michael Bennett.
I also know Jeff Goldberg. I don't use it to communicate with him. But you thought it was appropriate. By the way, I think he's one of the more outstanding journalists in America. But I'm shocked to find him on a thread that he's reading in the parking lot of a grocery store in Washington, D.C. And your testimony as the director of the CIA is that it's totally appropriate. No. Is it appropriate that the president?
That is not what I.
Okay,
when did
go
I say
ahead,
it was?
please.
When did I use the word appropriate?
Well, go ahead, please.
Well, I didn't.
That everybody in America.
So clearly,
there's nothing to
Senator,
see here is what your testimony is.
No, I never said that.
This is just a normal day at the CIA where we chat about this kind of stuff over Signal. In fact, it's so normal that the last administration left it here for us. That's your testimony today.
That's your testimony.
No, that's
Senator.
not my testimony. That's what you said.
I didn't say any of those things that you just related, Senator.
I heard you say it. We'll let the American people decide.
Michael Bennett's a moron. It's embarrassing. It's not what the story's about today. We should have spent this entire opening monologue today making fun of Angus King.
One note that surprised me, I've been on this committee now this is my 13th year. Every single one of these reports that we have had has mentioned global climate change as a significant national security threat, except this one. Has something happened? Has global climate change been solved? Why is that not in this report? And who made the decision that it should not be in the report when it's been in every one of the 11 prior reports?
I can't speak to the decisions made previously, but this annual threat assessment has been focused very directly on the threats that we deem most critical to the United States and our national security.
Let me ask a direct question. Who decided climate change should be left out of this report after it's been in the prior 11? Where was that decision
I
made?
gave direction to our team at ODNI to focus on the most extreme and critical national security threats
Your
that we
direction
face.
include no comments on climate change?
Senator, as I said, I focused on the most extreme and direct national
That's not a
security
response
threats
to my question.
that we face.
Did you instruct that there be no finding in terms of climate change in this report?
I don't recall giving that instruction.
Not a great day. Should have been making fun of Angus King. Again, it's not the end of the world, but it does matter. And we can't afford days like today. We have too much to do. The mission is too important. Look, if I had my druthers, I would have spent the whole A block today making fun of that idiot John Cornyn who's up for a primary next year, Texas. Maybe get out and vote someone out for once, this guy.
I'd like to refer to an AP story, Associated Press, dated March 21st, 2025. The title of the article is "Western Officials Say Russia is Behind a Campaign of Sabotage Across Europe." This AP map shows it. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask unanimous consent that it's being made part of the record.
Without objection.
The document that AP compiled, and I presume this is through open sources, documented 59 incidents, including cyber attacks, spreading propaganda, plotting killings, or committing acts of vandalism, arson, sabotage, or espionage. Is that consistent with your understanding and impression of what Russia's currently engaged in Europe?
Senator, I haven't seen that specific article, but I can confirm that we assess Russia's attempts to conduct such sabotage activities in Europe.
That man is a United States Senator from Texas. Anyway, we will refocus, move off of this. There's so much to get to. In fact, we'll talk about Russia, Ukraine here in just a moment, but I wish we did better. We screwed up. Someone should be fired. Apparently they won't be. I guess we'll see how the 4 years goes. All that may have made you uncomfortable, but I am right. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.